first of all, hi. This video is going to be a little bit different because I thought we'd have a look. I thought we'd have a look at some of my records. Because some of you have been requesting that, and I thought that'd be a fun thing to do because it's a bit more personal than just these doctor thingies. So there won't be any, filters or effects this time. But I hope it works all right anyway. As some of you may know, I talked about it in my 1000 subscriber special that I have a big interest for old stuff. That is old movies, old music, and everything. I'm not a very musical person. I used to play the guitar for a few years, but I haven't for another few years. So I'm not very musical. But I love music. And therefore I started collecting records, vinyl records. I have maybe, I don't know, it's, as I said, it's not a huge collection at all, by any means. Last time I counted, I had over 120 records, and maybe that sounds like a lot, but it doesn't look like a lot when you see it. I can show you. So it's a bit messy, yes. Okay, so this is how I store my records, and I have some more here too. But that's the ones I play more often. These are just lying around, and kind of, yes, have the rest here. That's a car. Anyway, yes, so I collect my records here. There's not that much, or, well, it is kind of organized. I have, up here I have Elvis, and then more earlier music. We have some Frank Sinatra over here, more Elvis into the 70s, then we have Rod Stewart and some other stuff, and there's some Michael Jackson, I think. And down here we have some random records to the right, and some, I think those are soundtracks mostly, or compilation albums. Anyway, okay, we're back. Yes, so you saw it isn't really a lot of records, but I picked out a few, 5 or 6 of them. They're not my favorites or anything, but I just picked out some random ones that could be fun. So let's begin. We've got this one, which is, I can take it out of its sleeve. Wait, this way. This is a soundtrack. As some of you might also know, I have a big interest in, or I'm a big fan of the James Bond franchise. And I don't own all of these soundtracks. I own very few of them, but it's something I'm looking into buying more of, I guess. If I find them, I have maybe 3 or 4. Anyway, so this is Thunderball, which is the fourth Bond movie. We have Dr. No, Promise with Love, Goldfinger, and yeah, this one, 1965. I don't listen to it very often. I don't listen to any of my soundtracks very often, but they're fun to have. And visually, it looks great, I think. As some of you might also know, I study graphic design, so this is very interesting to me. Because this is the era that I especially like. Anyway, so most of this is instrumental songs because it's just the background music for the whole movie. But we have the title song is Thunderball, sung by Tom Jones, which I think he is a terrific artist. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, it's fantastic. There's a lot of underwater scenes in the movie, which for when it came out in 1965 was quite a big deal. I think, well, don't quote me on this, but I think a major portion of the movie was shot underwater. Yeah. Yes. So this one I don't listen to very often. I listened to it maybe 2 times since I bought it. But I really like it. But it's not my favorite or anything. I just picked it because it's a bit fun. Next up, we can move this out of the way. Sorry. Next up is whatever this is. Anyway, so I thought I'd get the soundtracks out of the way first because why not? So this happens to be For Your Eyes Only, which in my opinion is arguably one of the best Bond movies out of the bunch. And you can agree with me or you can disagree, I don't care. It's just my opinion. Should I tap on these? I don't. Okay, we can do some tapping. This came out in the early 80s, 81, 82. I think 81, yes, 1981. Yes, I love me some Roger Moore, so this is perfect. And also, visually, it looks great. The design itself looks great. As with the other soundtrack album, most of it is instrumental background music throughout the movie. But the title song here is For Your Eyes Only, sung by Sheena Easton. I don't know if I pronounced her name right. I don't listen to her that often. I know one of her songs she made, which is the Morning Train song. Whatever. Yes, I just love the design of this one. There's some fun details. The record itself isn't that fun. It's a black, simple record. Do I listen to this one very often? No. As I said, I don't listen to my soundtracks very often because, I don't know. But I like to see the pictures from the movie and whatnot. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Whoever owned it before me wrote his name here, or her name. Looks like a male name. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's a fun record. I paid more for it than I should have. It wasn't expensive, but I haven't listened to it a lot, so yeah. Okay. Should I do some more like triggers? I don't know. Sorry. Okay. So, hello again. I realized whilst editing that the second half of the video I recorded, or the things you just watched, were corrupt. So I had to record it again, but that's fine because I can probably do better this time. Sorry for. Yeah, there's some water on my face because I just woke up a few hours ago and I splashed some water on my face. But anyway, so this is one of the other records that I brought with me. And no, as with the others, this isn't any of my favorite records. This is just one I thought would be fun. So this is Elvis Sings Flaming Star. And it came out in around the late 60s. And yeah, from a visual point of view, I guess, or like a graphic design point of view, I mean, there's not that much. I mean, I don't think there's anything I would have changed that much, but it's not, it's not very special. The picture is what does the whole thing, and I really like the picture. If we can bring this out of its sleeve. There's a lot of detail on his face in this picture, which I find just, I don't know, fascinating. It's interesting because you can see like every little pore on his face. Yeah, I don't know. I like this album. Do I listen to it very often? No. There are a few songs on here that I enjoy. If we look in the back here, Flaming Star, which I think is the best song on this album here. This is more of a compilation album, I'd say. But anyway, so Flaming Star, if you watched any of his movies, is a 1916 and 61, something like that, a western that he starred in, because of course Elvis throughout the early 60s towards the late 60s did mostly movies and not that much music compared to other years of his career, and most of his movies probably wasn't very good. I haven't watched a lot of them. I probably should have, but I don't know. I think maybe it will change my image of him or something, and I don't want to destroy that. But I watched Flaming Star and I actually did thoroughly enjoy it, because I also enjoy westerns, and I am aware he have made other westerns too. I just haven't gotten to watch them yet. But Flaming Star is a good song, like as a song itself. Then he sings Wonderful World, Nightlife, All I Needed Was the Rain, Too Much Monkey Business, Yellow Rose of Texas, The Eyes of Texas, She's a Machine, Do the Vega, and Tiger Man, which of course Tiger Man is also a very great song. On the back here we have some other albums shown. It's Golden Records Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. And we have His Hand in Mine and How Great Thou Art, which I own that one, another version of it, and I don't own that one yet, but I'll have to get around to buying that. Yeah, so it's a long leather record. It's as with all my other records, or most of my records, which are old, they're all just black vinyl. There's nothing more to it. They're not dyed or anything, which I don't have any problem with. I have some that are dyed, but I don't really care for that. I mean, they're cool, I guess, but yep. Let's put this back in. Sorry. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Okay. So, this one is up next. And this one I bought very recently. So, visually, I think this is a very, very, very good looking album. Like, it's fantastic. Sorry. I'm terribly sorry. So this is Las Vegas Hilton Presents Elvis Opening Night 1972. And there's a fun picture on here. This was given out by Memphis Recording Service. And usually Elvis records are given out by RCA. And this record I, as I said, bought a few months ago for a hefty price, because it was new. It wasn't that expensive compared to other new albums, and I enjoyed listening to it the first time, but it is produced terribly, I think. And I'll get back to that in a minute or two. So on here, on the album cover, we have a nice picture of Elvis, and and of course some trivia. Elvis died in 1977. And he started doing his Vegas shows in the late 60s after his comeback special. But the jumpsuits are more I guess, I don't know, reminiscent of the 70s. He probably were some of them in the 1969, but they really came into play in 1970, where he wore mostly white basic jumpsuits, or in all black or in white and red. But towards 1972 is when they got a lot more flamboyant, as you see, with a lot of stuff, which I kind of enjoy. But of course, his vocal abilities were probably the best in 1970. Because this is when he started to do more touring again, and I still enjoy this year a lot. It's the same year as he did his 15 or 16 cities in 15, 16 days tour, where he did 15 or 16, whichever it was, concerts in 15, 16 days, different cities. Which is, I think, a great tour. It's on Spotify, some of those concerts, and they're great. But back to this one. I bought this because it's really interesting, and when I listened to it, it was truly produced, because this is a single LP, and this is a concert from start to almost finish. But seeing as it's a single LP, it's not a concert all the way through. It starts and it ends, but they've cut out some parts and they've just kept whatever they wanted. And what's bad about this in this case is that when one song ends, another song might start, and then they cut, and then another song starts. So say I'm listening to one of these songs, and he ends, and he starts talking to the fans, and the band starts playing something, and I know what they're gonna play, and then they cut to another song, and I wanted to hear what they were gonna play because I knew what song they were gonna play, and that kind of annoys me. I think they could have just, I don't know. I'm not a producer. I don't do this, but I kind of annoyed by that, because my other concert albums aren't like that. But otherwise, this is a great album, because I mean, I just want to listen to as many different concerts by him as possible, and I enjoyed listening to it. It's still like from him. He performed well, so that's good, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I still like it. I don't listen to it a lot because it annoys me whenever I listen to it, that they start a song and I might cut at it and they do whatever they do. I think they cut out his band presentations, or whatever you want to call it, which usually are kept on. Of course, when you're listening to a whole album, they're kept on because they're a whole concert, because they're part of the concert. But sometimes I heard it starting between a song, and they're quite fun to listen to when he's just talking and not singing. But of course, they did not keep that. Anyway, there's some great songs on here, and would I buy it again? Yes. Yes, because it's fun to look at. It looks stunning, the cover. And also, this is not actually one picture. This is, well, not all album covers are one picture, because they're of course edited, but this kind of looks like it's supposed to be one picture of him on stage, but this is actually a backstage photo. But the background photo, or the background band, is from one of his concerts, because that's Jim Spurton, this is his band. I don't know. Fun to know, I guess. I don't know. I didn't realize it when I first bought it. I realized when I received it. Anyway, it looks good. I like it. Yeah. Okay. Next up is this one. And this is the last one. So, I guess last but not least. Because this, at the moment, is actually one of my favorite albums. This is Elvis, Good Times. It came out in 1974. This is what the backside looks like. And, I mean, visually, I think the cover looks great. Not as good as the last one. And that's mainly just because the picture was composed well, I guess. But this one looks good too. It's a bit more simpler, even though that one was also very simple. So we got a picture of him here. And on the track list we have Take Good Care of Her, Loving Arms, I Got a Feeling in My Body, If That Isn't Love, She Wears My Ring, I've Got a Thing About You Baby, My Boy, Spanish Eyes, Talk About the Good Times, Good Time Shawty's Got the Blues. And when we're talking Elvis, the 70s is the era I like the most. Of course, I like his rockabilly days in the 50s and his more ballady music in the 60s and then to what it became in the 70s. But this is probably the era I like the most. So, of course, he didn't write any of his songs, but still, that doesn't mean he didn't have any talent. So, what I really like is, he will record the same song a lot of times for different records. Not in all cases, but sometimes we've seen it. He recorded, say, Love Letters. He recorded that in the 60s, and then he recorded that one for another album in the 70s. And they sound different. Not just his voice, because he's aged. But the whole production is different because it matches into what that album sounds like. So that album has a very different sound, so it kind of flows all together. And these songs is the same thing. I'm not sure if he has recorded any of these songs before. I don't think so. But these all flow together very well. The way they're performed, I guess. And on here we have 3 songs that I really enjoy. One song that I absolutely love at the moment. So, Loving Arms, I Got a Feeling in My Body. That song is very groovy or something. It doesn't sound like it would be something else song, but it's great. I recommend that. My Boy is also something I enjoy. That's mostly the lyrics. And of course, again, Elvis didn't write his own songs, but he performs them very well, as if he's the one saying whatever is being said. For that one I also enjoy, for being on this album, I guess. But Loving Arms, that song, I can't stop listening to at the moment. I really recommend you checking out that song on Spotify or whatever. This is the album cover. If you're interested to this kind of music, because I think it's fantastic. It kind of showcases his vocal abilities very well. It's not the best song for showcasing his vocal abilities, but I really enjoy that song. It's great. It truly is great. So this is Elvis, Good Times. And excuse my hair, because I recently woke up and my hair was pew, so I just put some water on it. So I'm sorry. Yeah, this is not the original sleeve for the cover itself. This is some Swedish one. But this actual record, it's all black. And yeah, I don't know. Was this a fun video? I'm not sure. I enjoyed making this, but probably what would be better if you asked questions for next time we make something like this. For the next time we make something like this, because I think it would be fun if you asked me questions about any of my records or something. I have a lot of interesting stuff around my room, I think, or a lot of my friends think. So probably we'll do more stuff like that, because I feel like we need more personal stuff on here, so we can, like, I don't know, connect a bit. And I also thought of an idea. I don't use is it the community setting on my channel, and like where I can post stuff, because I thought we could do something interesting, because it seems like a lot of us have kind of similar interests. Maybe. I don't know. I thought maybe like we could do like a this week's listen, like the song you enjoy the most this week. And for me, I've been enjoying Loving Arms for 3 weeks now, but that doesn't mean I would post it 3 times. But I thought maybe we could do that. So you post like maybe 1 or 3 songs you enjoy. So when I post like, oh, this week's listen for me was Loving Arms, Elvis Presley, 1974, and then you can reply with, I don't know, your songs. And of course, I have a very specific taste in music. I usually like old music. That doesn't mean you can't post new music. So feel free. But I thought maybe it would be fun. Maybe you could listen to others' recommendations. And you could, I don't know, maybe it could be a fun way. I don't know. I just thought of it last night while I was trying to fall asleep. But I think it could be kind of fun. Yeah, and you could let each other know what you think about the song, this and that, you know. But anyway, this was it for today's video. I'm sorry for it being so utterly random. Yeah, I hope I realized when I was editing the first half that I was a bit loud sometimes, and maybe it wasn't ASMR stuff really. But then also I am very loud in all my videos. So I hope it works out, and I'll try to work on it, because I said I really want to work on the actual ASMR part. And next time I have some more records, of course. If we do something like this, maybe you can tell me if you want me to tap around them or do other triggers with them. Yeah. So thank you for watching if you stayed this long, and I'll see you next time.